Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Career Conversations. Today we have Mr. Manan Manwani, and he has had a very pedigreed background. He has that dream background that every product management aspirant aspires to have. So he completed his bachelor's in information technology from NSIT. Then he worked for some time, 1 year with Bain and a few months with Winzo in product management. Then he went to ISB to complete his MBA, Indian School of Business, and then he joined Razorpay uh, as a product manager, and he then rejoined Winzo as a product manager. So my first question to you, Manan, is uh, I know from my time at ISB that Razorpay is a very difficult recruiter to get into when it comes to PM aspirants. So, how many interviews did you have at Razorpay, and what was asked?
So Razorpay process was like 3 interviews.
Hmm.
We had different levels of product hierarchy, like taking the interviews. So one was with a senior product manager, then we went to director and then VP. That's how it went.
Hmm.
And Razorpay primarily looked at new ways to innovate. One of the interviews was more around fintech, um, while others focused on core product thinking. So a lot of product design and monetization was part of my question set. And I think it's been pretty fair and standard given that companies look for new and unique ways to like build out new features, especially the ones which can be monetized. And like, if not immediately upfront, but having a roadmap in place to like create a business model around any new feature or any new offering that anyone has.
Got it. Awesome. And what did your tenure look like? I mean, what are the kind of projects that you worked on when you were at Razorpay?
So Razorpay was primarily in the UPI team.
Hmm.
There were multiple things. It was more around having the current set of the Razorpay suite uh,
Hmm.
of UPI solutions and the other aspects around how do we transfer money, like mostly around enterprise. So how do we smart route our transactions to different user sets, different kind of user persona. So for example, if you're a factory owner
Hmm.
and we probably you an e-commerce company does a sale, how do you that owner who has created that, how do you separate it out, like give out the respective amounts which belong to maybe the staff, the contractor who is maybe employing the workers, and then the shipping company,
Hmm.
then you have the GST collections, and you look at 5 or 6 different elements which are involved. There is a team who's doing the marketing, there is a team who's looking at the core ops. How
Hmm.
do you divide that money to the respective sub teams? That's something which I also looked at. um, then there were new solutions around NEFT, IMPS, which I was
Hmm.
also working on. So it was a short stint, but
Hmm.
kind of learned a lot there, given that the space is continuously evolving. You're looking at new and new features, innovation in UPI coming. You would have heard of UPI Circle coming in as well, where you can add your family and friends
Hmm.
to a common payment interface, like a common payment UPI ID, where you can dictate, like you can manage payments for any of your family members.
Yeah.
Um, there is CC on UPI, like credit cards. The Rupee credit cards are now supported on UPI.
Hmm.
Multiple kinds of innovation happening. Of course, it's the backbone of Indian fintech infrastructure, UPI. So a lot of new things, ideas on how we can just improve the system and like make it more robust and more scalable for the users.
Hmm. Very interesting. I noticed one thing that you've worked with Winzo pre-ISB and you
Yeah,
rejoined them after ISB after working with
yeah,
Razorpay.
yeah.
So, any specific reason?
So Winso was a great company to work for. Like my mentorship, like my grooming has happened at Winso pre-ISP as well.
Hmm.
When I decided to move back to my hometown for my marriage and settling for the long run, there was no better company than to reach out to.
Hmm.
Um, Being a startup, you learn a lot. So like in 3 months, probably you're doing that kind of work, which maybe you can get like in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years in a big company.
Hmm.
So things move at a fast pace. Very smart people. So quick learning, fast learning, and yeah, if you find something which is good, like the, you would always want to like uh,
Yeah. And
learn and grow
is
there.
Window similar to MPL in terms of real money
Yes,
gaming?
yes.
Got it. So, what kind of work did you do at Winzo pre ISB? And did that work type change after ISB when you joined them as a PM?
Um, so not much, not much. A PM's work is kind of similar.
Hmm.
In general, you build out features, you test, you have an idea or a hypothesis, you work on it, you build out that feature, you do some experiments, you test if it's working or not. If it's working, you scale it,
Hmm.
and you repeat the cycle. So it was not different from that. It's just that the responsibility got added.
Hmm.
You were earlier looking at maybe a pre-ISP person looks at something which is non-core or non-critical, something which is a good to have or an addition to whatever offering is there. But
Hmm.
then once you become a little senior, you get that experience, you start working on projects which are like heavily reliant, the company is heavily reliant on, and
Oh.
new innovation is required, it has direct business impact. So the responsibility changes, the kind of products you work on changes, and of course the expectation from you to like ship out something which is like uh, industry first and innovative, that kind of expectation starts coming because you start getting that product sense by looking at hundreds of products that
Hmm.
now I think maybe this is a new innovation that's coming in, or you talk to 100 customers and then you realize this is a big major pain point that almost none of the companies have solved for. Why
Hmm.
not be the first one to do it? So
Hmm.
that kind of responsibility and like ideation, that's the strategy part that also starts coming into picture as and when you like grow in your
Got it.
career.
And tell me something, you were in PM already before ISB. So, what was the trigger point to do an MBA?
That's a very good question that a lot of people at ISP also ask me.
Hmm.
Why go for an MBA if you're already a PM?
Hmm.
Uh, I became a PM pre ISP. It was by chance. Uh, did not have a formal training around product management or understanding of how PM works. It was more of a get on the job and learn. I just was just curious that I want to try out product management, or just not even product management at that point of time.
Hmm.
I had heard this fancy concept of product manager, but it was more around I want to build things.
Hmm.
That's it. My only thing was I want to build things, and I always had this curiousness of how things are built, how like even small businesses or any kind of idea is gets built.
Hmm.
Had tried out some small things here and there myself as well, so like was very interested always in the building part of things.
Hmm.
um, you
Got
get
it.
to learn a lot of business aspect when you get into a B school. I believe I matured a lot in terms of how I was thinking about a project,
Hmm.
about a product. How do I manage people? How do I manage teams? Of course, without being their manager, how do we like discuss and then to collaborate together
Hmm.
and like own the success of a product, no
Hmm.
matter what it takes. It's on you to get it done. So I think that is something that you learn in B school. um,
Hmm.
it's it's a soft skill, you can't measure it, but life changes dramatically once you realize, once you get that it's called a hitting point, like that you suddenly start seeing the world differently.
Very
That's
true.
what happens. That's what an ISB MBA does to you.
Hmm.
Changes the perception of how you see the world. And there would be multiple stops in life, people's life. So anyone who starts pursuing entrepreneurship and does like gets achieves PMF, that also becomes like a major hit, because that's when you start seeing the world very differently. There's
Hmm.
no going back to the normal ways. After that, you start building things, you start realizing that there is opportunity to build everywhere. And how do you just realize that opportunity? I think that that um, euphoric moment, I would say, that that kind of happens in the way you think.
Hmm.
Multiple steps for people. ISBMB was one of them which I felt.
Got it.
Just gets you to a different level of thinking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, for a PM aspirant, you had a very high GPA, 3.7 on 4. So, my question is, did you have it in your mind right at the start of ISB that you want to get back into PM?
Yes.
Got
So if anyone is at ISB, or like this is something that my senior, my alum who was just leaving, like the senior batch who was leaving, told us, and I think that stayed with me for the whole journey of ISB, I think worked well as well for me. That spend the first 1 to 2 terms
Hmm.
figuring out and trying out each and everything. So don't miss out on anything.
True.
If there's a consulting workshop, go attend it. If there's a marketing workshop, go and attend it.
Hmm.
Product management, not heard of it, go and attend it. Term 3 and 4 is when you start finalizing. This is where I want to go into, like
Hmm.
early term 3.
Hmm.
Once you finalize that, so like very breadth first, try out everything, finalize on one thing, give yourself 2 to 3 months for that. But
Hmm.
once you're finalized on that,
Hmm.
that's when you start giving all your 100% effort to that particular thing.
Got
So I was fixated on product management from day one, so that 1 or 2 months didn't come into picture. But yeah, I did try for consulting. I mostly from a case competition point of view,
Yeah.
not from a job point of view. That's something that I really wanted to do, because well, consulting also teaches you soft skills where
Hmm.
you start seeing the world differently. That's also one of the things which people don't see from the outside what a consultant does, but
Hmm.
uh, it kind of makes an impact in the way you think about problems. So
Hmm.
mostly around that part.
I am forced to ask this question because you were a national winner in the Accenture B School Strategy Challenge. You were a national semi-finalist in Flipkart Wired, and you came from Bain and Company. Consulting firms would have welcomed you if you had tried for, let's say, getting a job in consulting in one of the big three firms. What what refrained you from applying for a consulting firm? What made you realize that I want to go ahead with PM and not consulting?
See, I wanted to be close to tech. Um,
Hmm.
I've loved building things. I've also done IT engineering, computer engineering, where I learned a lot of these things. Did
Hmm.
code, but never wanted to like become a software developer. I don't know why, it just didn't click. But I
Hmm.
wanted to stay very close to tech. I liked how softwares work, things are built. Uh, that's something which was fixated. Plus, I had tried both experiences pre ISB, little
Hmm.
bit of consulting, little bit of product. I loved the product work. That
Hmm.
like I found it as something that I can do for the rest of my life. And like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the future I'd probably prefer something else.
Hmm.
But for now, I think I became fixated on product management because it seemed to be the right mix of business and tech, which
Hmm.
is one place where I always wanted to go. So
True.
that's where I found the sweet spot. There's one more role which is called a product marketing manager.
Hmm.
That also fits in quite well.
Hmm.
I've had an internship in product with PMMs back in Microsoft, so I found that role as well, like good role. But product management seemed to be one step ahead in terms of what I wanted,
Hmm.
where I wanted to build things with the technical knowledge, knowing the technical knowledge and trying out things. And now we have a lot of development tools which help.
Hmm.
Um, yes, consulting would have been a very good thing. I also received an offer from one of the big threes,
Wow.
but I was very much fixated on product management. Even I don't know what made me choose whatever I chose, but I think it worked out well in the end.
Hmm. Got
Yeah, and plus traveling was one of the reasons I was hesitating for consulting. I wanted to travel less,
it. Hmm.
um, stay put at one place more, just a
Got
personal preference. So yeah.
Got it. And how are the Winzo interviews different than Razorpay? Any difference in terms of number of rounds or the kind of problems? Obviously, barring the fact that it's a very different industry, but barring that, any other difference?
So I never technically had a very formal round at Winso.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pre ISP, it was not a proper interview concept where I interviewed through like a proper round, 3 or 4 round structure. It
Hmm.
was more of a discussion with the founder and then an assignment.
Hmm.
Um, it was it was different at that point of time. Maybe things got changed a lot after that.
Hmm.
Um, but while interviewing at ISP, what I found was that usually companies follow this process where you have a mix of product design, strategy, and monetization questions. And
Hmm.
with each round, whenever you proceed, you start getting tested more on your strategy and your long-term thinking perspective. So, how can you build, understand a roadmap? Are you able to understand the feasibility of the ideas that you're giving? Of course, you don't need to make uh, rockets to like solve for traffic problem. That's not the right solution, but yes, you can make a nice traffic management system which is maybe now powered by AI or any other intelligent algorithm working behind it to manage the traffic. So
Hmm.
um, are you thinking of problems which are um, feasible to develop, have can have a business model, can be monetized?
Hmm.
and a practical in nature. I think that is something which companies really care about.
Hmm.
It's not about giving moonshot ideas always, but even simple ideas can work. Our Accenture case competition had this thing where we gave the simplest of ideas for solving like LPG subsidies was the problem, like
Hmm.
frauds and scams in LPG subsidies. It was a very simple solution that we gave, not something very hi-fi, but
Hmm.
something which could be implemented and we could see results in a very short time. And that's what appreciated, that yes, this is something that companies can actually go and implement after someone like an Accenture has
Hmm.
consulted them for.
Got it. My second last question to you is a PM aspirant who's entering ISB. What should they focus on? Because I've heard that CGP is not important, but you should become a part of the business technology club and you should do product case comms. Uh, do you agree with that?
There's no one fit solution for everyone.
Hmm.
It depends on your journey. I've seen people who did not participate in case comms got the best of placements. Participated in case comms, maybe did not get the best of placements. Maybe did. Long run, a lot of them are working at top companies. Um, it works out at the end, I would say.
Hmm.
You find your fit, and it's not the like. Um, the fit is permanent. It can change with time. Priorities can change with time.
Hmm.
But for anyone who's trying to become a PM, see, case comps is something that I vouched for
Hmm.
and I learned the most from.
Hmm.
I participated in a lot of case competitions. That was
Hmm.
one of my biggest learnings.
Wow.
I joined BTC as an L&D, like learning and development coordinator, which helped me like gather a lot of information resources so that I can share it with the batch. So
Hmm.
if you try to become that person who's trying to get information and share it with the batch, you eventually learn yourself as well.
True.
So like pass on that information, uh, and before that you need to get the context as well. So that was also a big learning point for me.
Hmm.
Otherwise, PM prep, you can start working from whenever you want. There are a lot of product management case books, case guides available on the internet.
Hmm.
ISB gives you one, like all BTC creates one.
Hmm.
um, this time around, I think AI is a big focus. So anyone who's trying to become a PM, just go and try out Lovable. Just go and try out Cursor,
Hmm.
GitHub Copilot. Learn the basics. Learn, understand it. You may not need to code fully, but
Hmm.
if you could become good at like building prototypes, that's something that can differentiate you from the rest while giving the interviews.
Very true.
If there are 100 people applying for a job and 99, like all 100 CVs will look the same,
Hmm.
99 have thought of an idea, one has built it out.
Hmm.
That's what separates you out. So like find that differentiating factor, and then uh, all the tools are available on the internet now. You can try out for free and just go one level ahead.
Got it. My last question is, and I asked to every guest, which is, tell me two things about ISB, uh, which only a student or alum would know about, but an outsider would not, be it placements, parties, people, anything.
Okay. uh, First one, learning never stops. You
Hmm.
think 1 year is over, MBA is over? No, I am still connected with ISB, all the alumni groups in a
Wow.
very good way, which have, and like learning never stops. You want to know anything, you get it from the ISV community, which is there for you. And B, while you're there, I think from the outside it will just feel like an MBA, but that year can transform your life.
Hmm.
uh, Not in terms of maybe career or anything, no, that's something that people can figure out without an MBA as well,
Hmm.
but just in the way of how you think about things, um, how you look at problems. It can transform your life if you are open for it. A lot of people I've seen like have made significant transformations, not in terms of career, not in terms of salary, CTS, forget everything, jobs, roles, etc., but
Hmm.
just in the kind of human they have become. So I think, and in a positive way. So
Hmm.
um, that difference will not be seen from the outside until you experience it, until you sit in a class where you're being taught by a former NASA professor, where you've been taught by people who've built out surface devices
Hmm.
in the Bay Area.
Hmm.
Um, that kind of learning is like unparalleled. So that go for the learning, go for that transformation is what I'll say.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Manan, for this super duper insightful conversation. I'm 100% sure that this will immensely help all PM aspirants entering into or exiting out of ISB.
Thank you so much. It was nice to like talk to you. And for all PM aspirants, like just keep learning. Learning never stops. That's something that I learned from ISB. Just keep learning. You'll find your way.
Awesome. And thank you so much.
Thank you.